And 3 and 2 and 1. What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Craze tonight?
What's happening tonight? We have the crew from Wayward Raven on the show. We're going to be talking to them about their new book that's coming out. Plus, we're going to be talking about writers and artists. That's coming up next.
Let's, you know what we do. Get it!
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze podcast. I'm your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man, Vera, and I am with
George.
You forgot his name.
Nah, I'm waiting for the drums, and I forgot you're not home right now.
I'm not home at a hotel, baby.
What's
I'm
going
at a
on?
hotel.
Everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode of Catch the Craze. It is Tuesday, October 8th, 8 p.m. here in the East Coast. Sammy's on the road. That's why he's got a dirty kitchen. And he's coming from
Dirty kitchen?
room. He's coming from his hotel room. But yeah, no, welcome. We have a great show for you guys tonight. We have the fellas from Wayward Raven, Mark and Alex, are going to be coming and talking to us about We Suck at Comics, volume number 2, which is coming out on Kickstarter very, very soon. Plus, we're going to be talking about who has it easier at cons, writers or artists. Let's debate. But before we do that, make sure you subscribe. Comment, like, do all that stuff. Thank you for everyone who's watching. I see 7 likes. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Carrie's in the house. Michael San Martino is back. He's been missing out for a couple of days, but he's back. Thank you for coming on, my friend. Yeah, Sammy. So you're out of town. What's happening, brother?
I'm in St. Louis, traveling for work, and doing my thing. Let me see. Do I need some light here? Bang! Look at that light. Bang! 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 What's up, End of Zed in the house? End of Zed.
What up, Ed? Ed's in the house.
Yeah. I'm traveling for work this week. So none of the bells and whistles. What's up, Gilly in the house? And in a couple of weeks, I'll be doing Cowtown Comic Con. Getting ready for Cowtown. That's another show that I'm excited about. I haven't done it I didn't do it last year because I wasn't sure about it, but I'm going to do it this year, so I'm looking forward to that. And I'm bringing Duty, the monsters, and all of the excitement to Cowtown, which is good. I don't have to stay at a hotel because it's just a 40-minute drive, so I'll be in and out. Bang, 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 bang. So yeah, I'm getting ready for that. And you just got back from a show.
Yeah, dude. Lou is in the house. Theme song is Fuego, right, Michael?
Thank you. What's
yeah,
up,
dude,
Arroyos con Pollos?
This weekend, man. I was on Saturday. I was at the Yonkers Public Library here in Yonkers, obviously, and it was a great show, dude. It was probably the best one-day show at any convention that I did this year, and it wasn't even a full day because it was from 11 to 5,
Nice.
and sometimes conventions take about an hour to really get going. So it didn't start popping off until about 12. And then we had to pack up by 4 because we had to be out of the library by 5.
Right.
So it was a 4-hour day, dude. And it was a crazy. Oh my God. Hugo is back. Hugo, where you been? Lou, thank you. Thank you very much. Sammy's got a dirty kitchen. Yeah, you've been missing out.
All I got is one bag, bro. One bag. I got one bad comment, honest.
I was like,
Cabroni?
I was most self-conscious about it. Yo,
What
that
the bloody
kitchen is
hell.
mad dirty, everybody.
Yeah, I'm drinking an old fashioned with ginger and carrot
Yeah,
juice.
I could tell you got the chinky eyes, bro. You got the eyes the eyes, Chico. They never lie. Oh,
That's a fun one because Branson. I don't even know what did you call me, bro? You
Fuddruckers.
talking smack?
Yo, and so Ed was there at the Yonkers Comic Con. Thank you so much, Ed, for coming through. Him and his son came through, and we had a good time there.
Nice.
So yeah, it was a good show, dude. It was a really, really good show. It really exceeded expectations. Big shout out to Evan Bishop, who's the promoter of the show. He was there. He was doing his thing. So definitely gonna go back and do more thing. Jonathan Syphax was at the show. He was killing it. So Johnny's funny. He doesn't, obviously it's his first, he hasn't done a convention in before Square App, I think. I mean, he hasn't done a convention in a long time. So he doesn't have the capability to, for the cards and stuff like that. Right. So I was using my card, we were sitting next to each other. Every so often people will come back and he said I could charge him the card here. He said I could charge. I was like, yeah, no doubt. He was killing it, bro. He was killing it. Yeah, he was doing his thing. So Hugo says, life's been busy. Lifing. Yep. Hugo, Mike, and Lou. Everybody saying what up. Mike, Sam hates Fuddruckers.
Yeah, it sucks.
That's why he says it. That's why Mike says it. Mike knows what he's doing. Mike knows what he's doing. Yeah. But yeah, dude, it was a good show. And then next weekend, not this weekend coming up, but the weekend after, I will be at New York Comic Con. New York Comic Con is going to be happening. So if you guys are going to this show, if you're going to be at New York Comic Con, I will be at booth 2040 with my boy Johnny C. Johnny C and I will be sharing a table because that place is expensive. So we're going to be there.
Expensive.
It's going to be good, man. It's going to be a good time. So yeah, big shout out to everyone who's been supporting us throughout the year, because you've done a lot of shows, Sam. I've done a few shows, and the love has been real. So it's all good.
Yeah, man. It's that's my hangout spot. Comic Cons, bro. I mean, I love conventions, bro. That's a place where I love to hang out. What is it? Okay, I missed the joke. Wawa.
When is the next Horseman episode? Good question.
That's a good question.
Good question. Got your email, by the way. Can't wait for it to kick off. There you go. Oh yeah. I got to mention that. Ed, the author of End of Zed, will have his Kickstarter launching. I believe October 24th. So look out for that. Big shout out to Ed and his Kickstarter. Can't wait to get that book. That thing looks insane. So that's coming up.
That's dope.
That is coming up. Yeah, man. Yeah. So anyway, so you got the conventions coming up. I know that you have a book that I owe you, so I have to give you some pages for the.
Yeah, man. I gotta get this. I gotta get it to the printers, bro. Gotta get to the printers.
Catch the craze. Number 6 is coming.
Number 6 is coming, and I'm actually finishing up a project that I'm doing for. I'll talk about it in the new year. I'm finishing up a project that'll be published next year. And then I'll start on issue number 7 in November, mid-November. I'll start on issue number 7 for Disneyland My Toilet. So, more to come with some stuff that I'm working on for next year.
Yes, I am, Michael. New York Comic Con. I will be there. Are you going to be there? Booth 2040, my friend. And yes, sign up, everyone. Sign up for the page. But yeah, dude. So anyway, speaking of Comic Cons, why don't we get into the topic for today so we can bring in the guys in just a few minutes.
Topico, rápido. We need to get your meds. Let's get your meds.
It's time for your medicine.
Question: who's got it easier at conventions, artists or writers? Cast your vote.
Okay. All right. Yes, cast your vote. So I was thinking about this the other day because with all the conventions we've done and things like that, you being the artist and the writer of your book, me being the writer of my book, I was thinking, who's got it easier? Who's got it easier? And let me add this, to make a sale. Who's it easier for to make a sale at a convention? That is something that Aniwa and I were chatting off. We spoke on the phone today. We were talking about it a little bit. What do you think, Sam? Who's got it easier, the writer or the artist, when it comes to selling these books at a show?
I say I'm going to be a politician today. So everybody says I believe the artists have the edge if they're willing to draw samples. So I say it all depends.
Yeah.
It all
No,
depends.
no, but you know what?
Yeah.
And to Aniba's point, it's a bigger question. It's not just a simple this person versus that person.
Right.
It's not.
It's
There
all
are
depends.
layers to that
Yes.
question. You know what I
I
mean?
think because I've seen things, I've been out in the world and I've
You've seen
experienced some things,
Okay. Yeah.
right? So at conventions, I've seen guys or girls who publish, um, whether it's prose, whatever it is, or graphic novels, or just novels, and they do extremely well. Writers, just writers, right? They hired a cover artist who did the cover, and they're there promoting their stuff, and it's just written form, and they're blowing it away at a Comic-Con, and they're just selling it, having no fist. I've seen guys who are just writers who commission artists to do their projects, and they're at tables, but because they have a strong elevator pitch and they know how to promote their stuff without an artist being there, I've seen them being able to move product, right? And I've seen the opposite, with artists. I've seen, artists will always have an advantage because if someone appeals to their art style, the commissions and all that other stuff, whatever. But I think it all depends on the product and the person pushing the product at the venues. Because I've also seen people who have amazing art, but they do jack diddly squat to promote it, and they're hoping it just sells itself, right? And people are just walking by because they're looking down the whole time just drawing. So really, I think it's a combination of appeal for your product, but also your charisma and your ability to connect with the consumer. For me, it all depends. It's a case by case. It's not a blanket statement.
Yeah, no, it is. I looked at it from the point of view of like, okay, who has it easier? Who has to work harder to get that sale, right? Now, common sense says and Kerry said it, that the artist has the edge. And yes, to a certain extent, I think what happens is there's more pressure on the artist because it is a visual medium. See, the writer is there, and if he has a great personality, he probably can sell you that book just off the fact that he's selling the idea and he's convincing you to buy the book. And you really won't know if it's good or not until you actually buy the book. Once you get home and read it, you realize, damn, this guy sucks, right? But he can't tell that right away. Whereas for the artist, he can tell right away if that artwork is good or not. So if the artist is sitting there with artwork that isn't appealing visually, people are just going to walk by his table or her table and not even talk to them because they automatically right away, because it is a visual medium, that's not for me. It's not my kind of thing. And that makes it harder for that artist to sell because you can't convince somebody to buy bad art unless you have a hell of a personality and you're just charismatic as hell and you can sell ice to an Eskimo. Then that person's going to walk away with an ugly book, but they're going to have a great time because you were such a great guy. Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, and you're right. It really depends. And I was talking about this with Anima because he mentioned that, personalities will sell you books, man. Like, that experience that you have with somebody at a table and the charisma that's coming at you from behind the table, that will, you'll open up your wallet real quick, but I equate being at a convention to being at a bar where you pick, you see a cute girl or a cute guy at the end of the bar. That person's probably going to get, a lot of phone numbers or a lot of looks versus the person who maybe has the great personality because you got to wait. That person's got to speak, they're not just going to approach you. So, it is a layered question. It's not just a simple.
Because you got personality walk, personality talk, with personality smile, personality.
Oh, we're getting performances now. We're not just getting songs. We're getting actual performance.
Look at them.
Dude, it took 14 minutes for you to sing. 14 minutes.
I was waiting for you to finish your speech. But yes.
You were eating away at the cult of personality.
I was like, remember the cult of personality? The cult of personality.
Dude, every freaking
song kind of what?
Right? That was two. Count two. Oh boy.
No, but it is true. It really all depends. do sing the cons. I did see a guy at a convention who had nothing but stacks of his novel. He wrote a fantasy series,
Like
right?
jazz
So I
hands.
mean, that's with the Broadway hands.
Jazz hands
With
on the
the happy
side.
fingers, happy fingers.
He gave us all that. Oh snap!
Right? I seen a cat at the
Yeah.
Comic Con, and all he had was his tablecloth, right? And he just had his books stacked, just a couple of piles. And he's not. And there's a fantasy series that he wrote, and he's just blowing the handle of a fist. He's just like, bang! People are eating it up. Just no big flashy stuff. It's just him and his pitch, and people were just eating it up.
He was a
and
writer. He was a
He was
writer.
a writer. He wrote
Yeah.
it was a prose. It was just
Yeah.
there was none, the only art was on the cover. That was it, right? And so I think again, it really depends on your ability to tell a good story, to connect with the consumer, and to engage them in a way that they find appealing to them.
Hugo says, "Was the cover art catchy?"
The cover art was traditional to what you would see in the Barnes and Nobles when you see all these fantasy epic books. So it was similar to that genre. So he hired somebody in the industry because it was well done, and he had the only thing he had on the table were the books and an 8x10 stand up that had the plot, and that was it.
Yeah. So Aniba mentioned, and also he said this on Facebook earlier. He goes, "Creators that like to talk to people have it the easiest, whether it be an artist or a writer. Bam! It's a wrap. Show's over." that was his response.
It's all right. Show's over.
That's it. Mark Torres said it. He says he believes that if it's about sales, then in that case, I'd say the artist, as with the right setup, can just start drawing, and if people can see it, will draw. It will be drawn, pun intended. Will draw a crowd. A writer can't do that. Nobody will stop to see a guy typing.
Yeah. Oh, we got Daphne just made a comment. What's up,
Yep.
Daphne? I would think writers are able to entertain verbally, which leads to a better pitch, especially since they can't depend on the art to sell the books. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You think about it, the strength of the writer, right? You would think that it should be it should come easier for the writer because their whole craft is in communication, right? It's the written form, right? It's dialogue, right? So there's a level of connection, a personal connection to the product, more so than the artist, especially if you're an artist for hire. You're not so personally connected to the product. You're relying on your artistic ability to appeal to the consumer, where the writer is so connected to each character in the world that they've built that they're able to pitch it in a more organic and personable way that connects with the audience. You know what I'm saying? So I think they have that edge when it comes to the elevator pitch. I think the artist has an edge when it comes to the visual form, right? So each of them in their own right has an ability to be able to nail it when it comes to connecting with the consumer. It's just the how they do it.
Yeah, Tim Jones, who I bet some folks would pay to watch certain writers write, like George R. Martin.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Imagine he's out there with his speaking laptop. He's just writing away.
Voyeurs.
Voyeurs.
Creepy.
We've been, what do you say? We've sat next to authors, and writers tend to sound less like carnival barkers.
Yeah.
And writers tend to sound less like carnival barkers. Tim Jones, who does a comic strip called Sour Grapes, he said that I think the writer would have the easier time. They could explain and tell what the book is about, plot, etc.
Yeah.
So, it's about that.
Might
It might
depend
depend on who's there as the creator of the property, who knows everything about it.
Yeah. Right. It's that
Yeah.
personal connection, right, to it. So it goes back to how connected you are to the property, right?
Yeah.
And how good are you with conveying the plot that connects with the consumer in a good way.
Yeah, I ran into an artist who was there. He was talking to me about the book that he's working on with a writer, And he usually, when you talk to somebody about the project they're working on or whatever, somebody comes to the table, you'll say, me, for example, no, I'm just a writer, right? He was talking about the book and he said, no, I'm just the artist. And I was like, you're just the artist, dude?
Yeah.
Like, you're the artist, bro. Like, you're just the artist. But yeah, no, it really depends who's there selling the book,
Yeah.
which is what KJ Keith Murphy, big shout out to him. He said artists turned writers have an easier time selling because they are double invested and it's all them if they succeed or fail. So when you are the artist who also wrote the book, obviously, like you, for example, you have to sell, duty, there's an alien in my toilet. That's all you. It's your book. It's
Yeah.
your book.
Yeah. And, so again, I go back, I stand by my first response was, it all depends. I said, what does it say? What she say? Although it surprises me how many comic creators don't know how to explain the story of their books. Yeah. And then I make sure that I have the writer and then give them the name of the artist to share that I am the writer, give them the artist. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the hard part. I think what happens is we overthink it. I fell victim to that too when I'm trying to figure out my pitch, right? You overthink it and you're trying to figure out how to connect and pitch it in a good way because not everybody's going to connect with your pitch, right? So it's like I find myself always adjusting based on who's standing in front of me, right? Because I'm feeling them out and I'm trying to see what was it about the product that they were attracted to, and then I try to go in on that angle. Yeah, so I have about 3 to 4 pitches based on that I pull out based on who it is. So there's not one single approach that I use because everyone's different in how they receive the message. Speaking of duty,
Mike just knows how to set you up for this stuff. Go for it, Sam. So you remember the song?
Duty juice, duty juice. Everybody wants some duty juice, right?
Nobody wants duty juice, bro.
It's tasty
Nobody
too.
wants
Everybody wants duty juice.
No, Michael, stop it. Yo, Mike knows how to get you going. That's 3 for those keeping score. Oh man, he cracks out. Better write some more pitches now. Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, it really depends. I mean, you gotta be a chameleon with these things.
Yeah.
And you gotta know because sometimes some things aren't working with some people, so you got to switch it up right there at that moment and see what works.
Yeah,
like we can't be robots behind that table and just say, okay, this is what the book is about. The book is about this, and just do it every single time.
Yeah.
I think you gotta switch it up from time to time. You know what I mean?
And then and the different characters appeal to different. Like there's every convention I've run into, there's somebody that's more that they find Herman more appealing. So, tell me about that Chihuahua, right? And so then I start pitching Herman, right? And I talk about him and his backstory, and that's what seals the deal with them. Some people, when I talk about I give my pitch and they're still on the fence. Especially if it's his parents, I'll say, you know what? If you open up the book, there's 4 pages of trivia, bonus questions that encourage reading and research, right? And they're like, oh, I love that, right? So it changes based on who it is.
Oh wow. Okay.
What's this?
I don't think Chris was trying to make a point, but I don't know.
It's a children's book.
I got to kick on my robot impersonation. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. What up, Arelis? Arelis is in the house.
He got boobs. That's good.
Yeah. No. I guess he's trying to say like you can't do that pitch with somebody who's looking for it.
Oh, you can't.
Yeah, right. Prime Drink says has duty juice. But yeah, no, I mean, I think a lot of what happens behind
duty juice.
I doubt that. I found that to be a different kind. Sometimes
it counts as someone who wants to really deep personality. Yeah, details. Yeah.
Do you think that because of where you are and the area that you in, people are attracted to certain characters? So like, for example, and I hate this sounds really like just stereotypical, but because you're in Texas, do you think that Herman appeals because he is a Chihuahua?
I don't give it a lot, that kind of thought, because it's like maybe 1 out of every 10
Okay.
customers that I run into, it's Herman that try, like I'm being asked for Herman stickers, right? Which I haven't done any, right? And like, oh, when are you gonna have Herman stickers? So I'm like, oh, there's an appeal to the character itself, right? So, and that's what I'm saying is you have to adjust based on what's attracting the consumer to you, because it's never a one size fits all, you know, unless you're a Jim Lee, you know, you got to figure out at the moment at a convention, it's a game of test and try, right? It's a game of feeling each other out, right? It's trivia. You're trying to figure out the consumer and trying to figure out what's going to gravitate to them. Yeah, script needs to be improvised when you're pitching to multiple different groups. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's why that's why I have, I mean, me personally, because I write stories for younger audiences, I do have an age group that I tell people this is for. So like I don't pitch certain book. What like Russ, I won't pitch to like a kid, a family with 4 or 5 year olds. They just won't get the book. They don't.
yeah,
They won't understand it. You know what I mean? Same thing. I won't necessarily pitch, the Adventures of Wonder Duck to a family who has a bunch of teenage kids, who are looking for like manga stuff.
yeah.
How could you stereotype like? Yeah, I'm just saying. It was an innocent question.
But I remember. So here's a really says my kids love the accent, right? You know how many times I got feedback about the accent. So I met a guy, I forgot which Comic Con it was this year, and he says he picked up the first issue, then he picked up the second issue, third, and then when he got to the Herman part, he goes, I found myself reciting the dialogue out loud and speaking in Herman's accent, and I couldn't help but laugh at myself right. So I remember when you were like, "Oh, well, today's world, you think people are gonna have a problem with it, right?" And I stood true to it because that's who Herman is, and I said, I don't care. You could not like
it's still it's a chance. It's
right.
a chance.
It's a chance, right?
Because you never know who's going to be offended by the accent.
And for me, I really don't care because that's the world I come from, right? I chose Herman's accent based on my family, and I heard that accent in my family growing up. So I was like, I'm going to use that accent with Herman, right? So, but to Aurelia's point, I hear that over and over again. I love the fact that he has his own personality and he has his own way of speaking.
She said that's exactly what my kids liked and said he sounded like grandma.
There you go.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Yeah, it is. That's exactly right, Anibal. This is not George. This is a robot. That was a robotic question.
Yeah.
There are people who collect items with certain dog breeds. Corgis are really popular now.
You said accent? What accent?
Look at Hugo. Hugo's comment said, "How could you stereotype like that?" And then Michael, racism will not be tolerated, George. Oh, I love these guys.
Shame for the shame. Shame for the shame.
I love them. I love them. I'm out here with a bell. Just shame.
Yeah. But I learned, and it's funny because we think as the creatives that we know what the consumer wants, right? But I could tell you, I learn more and more every time I'm at a convention what the true fans of my product really want, right? And so I adjust based on that, right? So I think if you want, as a writer,
how much do you adjust?
I adjust when it makes sense, right?
That's what I'm saying, that because there's a level that you can't just adjust. Like there's got to be. It has to make sense to the story.
Yes, like the reason why I continue with the trading card thing, which is the bounce back, is because it's grown into now it's a sought after item. They come to the convention, they want that card, right? If in the beginning it was just a form of just trying to get bounce backs and drive traffic, right? Now it became a thing. Like they know that every year I'm releasing 2 new cards. I want those cards, right? So people will come.
But you're talking about merchandise, though. You're not talking about story.
But it ties to the product, right? So it's that edge, right? So when we talk about what's going to make the difference between a writer and an artist, it's that edge. What edge do they have? So for writers, it's going to be their connection, their personal connection to the product. For an artist, it's going to be the art and whatever comes with it, right? So how do you maximize and capitalize on what it is that's driving traffic to you, right? And adjust based on the demand. If they're asking for it, and you're getting that, and it's a repeated ask. It's not just a one-off, right? You get a repeated, then you have something, right? Then how do you make it work for you? And same thing with a writer, right? I've seen writers with just nothing but their books, and they're killing it because they had a great elevator pitch, great cover, and a plot line, right? And that was it. And boom, 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 boom. and their first time out the gate. So it all depends, man.
Yeah, it really does.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. Wish I could collab with those who do both. I couldn't upsell at the convention I attended last month. It was really hard getting people to even come over to the table to engage. Damn, that's it. That's interesting.
Yeah, and you're gonna get those. You
Yeah.
know, they're gonna be. You're gonna win some. You're gonna lose some. I mean, if you watch my vlogs, you know that has some good shows and it has some really bad shows, right? So it's never a home run every time, but as long as you keep going up to bat, you have a better chance at winning um, uh, each and every time. In fact, there is. Damn. I remember in a minute. There was something I watched that I'm going to bring back the craze in 10 or less to do an episode on it.
Oh yeah, you haven't done that in a minute.
I haven't done that in a minute, right? And Coach Sammy chats. And there was something I watched in the craze in 10 or less. Oh, it was a guy who wanted to create his own feature film single-handedly, right? So he worked and took on all this commission money to save enough money so he can work for 2 years working on his project, because it would take him 2 years to do it. So he saved up the money so he can work for 2 years to create his own feature film. And trial and error, right? And painstakingly working through the process the whole bit. And he kept on pushing it through. Even when he had failures, in the beginning it was difficult and he was having failures, he wasn't getting the result he was looking for, right? I think it's a great story of triumph, right? And then when you think about all the independents that we talk to, right, there's a level of that adversity that you have to try to overcome in the game because it's so challenging. But how many give up early before they've even seen anything to fruition? I don't know why I'm going off course, but I'm gonna do a segment on that.
That duty
I was
juice.
thinking this
juice.
conversation was triggered me because it all goes back to your belief and your passion. If you're passionate about your project, you're gonna have a better time pitching it and selling it. Try not to get discouraged when you're at a convention when it's not working in your favor, because it's easy to fall victim to, being frustrated and like, what the hell's going on? I'm not getting people at my table.
Yeah. Chris, are you an artist or are you a writer? Just out of curiosity. I got to figure out how to hire help because soloing at a convention sucks.
Oh yeah, I know. It sucks. I know. I do it all the time.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah, no, it's not easy. I mean, I think that, I've been fortunate because John likes to go to conventions. So I get to, and he's local. So, we just roll. We just roll these conventions together. But yeah, no, it can get really, really hard. And the reason why I asked Chris if he's a writer or an artist, because I think, again, going back to who has it easier, who has it harder, I think that writer and graphic designer. Okay. Because I think that when you're an artist and people don't come to the table, it hits different than when you're a writer and people don't come to the table.
Yeah.
Because if you're an artist and nobody's coming to the table, you take that personally. Like, they just don't like my art. If you're a writer and they don't come to the table, you can always say to yourself, they haven't even read the book, so they don't know what they're missing out. You know what I'm saying? So it can definitely hit harder,
Yeah, but that's the crazy. That's the Get Your Meds segment.
Yes.
It's a great chat, but we have our guests in the rating room. And before we bring them on, I remind you that there's an art channel, The Art of Samuel. If you want to know about how to survive at conventions and the ins and outs of navigating that world, check out The Art of Samuel. And here's a reminder. What's up, guys? Welcome to the show.
Yo,
There they are. What's up, Mark? What's up, Alex? How you guys doing?
oh, good. I used the time to catch up on my Inktober stuff. So
Yo, what's the Inktober? What's it up to so far? Right? What is
day 8? It's hike and
hike?
boom.
Oh, okay. Take it.
Nice.
Nice. Catch it up, Mark. What do you use the time to do, Mark?
Dude, I fucked around on my phone and
Drinking?
went down myself a beer that I'm about to drink. I mean, and I listened actually because I have an anscer for you.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think we were both chomping at the bit. It's like, get us on.
So go for it, guys. What do you got? What do you think?
All right, so here I'm gonna say this right off the bat. Right? There's a couple things that just are, and so I'm gonna put them aside, but I want to mention them because I think they're important, right?
Okay.
The first number one thing that's important is how hard are you willing to work. It doesn't matter if you're a writer or you're an artist. If you're not willing to work, if you're just sitting back and hoping people come to you, guess what? You're gonna fail. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I work my ass off. Alex works his ass off. I mean, you can already see the energy that we bring.
Mm-hmm.
Like bring that to cons, you know.
I'll even say one thing that might not be obvious from both of us. It's like I'm an introvert, and I know a lot of artists say I'm an introvert. How do I sell? The thing is, you got to kind of figure out how to get yourself, like, you take your break, you recharge after the show or whatever. But at the show, you don't need to be on and like, at 110%, but you need to talk to people. You need to engage. You need to have a conversation. And if you can't, you get somebody like a Mark, who's just going to sit there and talk while you draw. But as an artist, if you can't talk, if you don't want to talk, you need to figure something out because your art, unfortunately, your art is not good enough to get people to stop and buy it all the time. Right. You might get one or two people, like even me, I'm a mediocre artist. People stop and they look at my stuff, but I don't always make that sale until I can engage, until I can say, hey, give me your money. So,
but hold on, I have a thought. I want you to hold that thought. I want you to hold that thought. All right, so here's here's the thing, and I will tell you, Alex is right. Listen, artists, just go into your a little personality. Find that. Maybe you're not a multi-personality person, but go find that personality and go put that mask on. Because guess what? I am, yes, an extrovert, but I still got to put on my extrovert mask. I still got to go out and go, this is con time. I'm on a podcast. I'm at a con. Trust me, my battery runs out. It's a little bit bigger than some other people's, but like it runs out, and there comes a point in time when I just want to sit in the couch and freaking whack away at my PlayStation 5 and just everybody leaving that alone. You know what I mean?
No, I think it is a mindset. Like when you get to that convention, it's that Beetlejuice mindset, right? It's showtime. Like it's time to go. Like now it's time to go. And it's work. It's an 8-hour day, and you do have to go to work. And I've seen you guys. I've been at a lot of conventions. I've seen you guys at conventions, and you guys work well with each other. And I think that's very important to find somebody who you can kind of like almost bounce off of. You know what I mean? Where you guys don't step on each other, you guys kind of like help each other kind of sell, and it works because you guys are very successful at a lot of these conventions.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've been and look, in all fairness to us, we've been doing it for a while, right?
Yeah.
I know when Alex is getting tired and just wants to stick his nose in the book and start drawing, right? He knows when like I just need to go take a walk and go get a Red Bull or something like that to recharge my battery. Like so we kind of pick up and it ebbs and flows. And we even have a cadence to like when people come and to the table and I'll grab this one, you grab that one. It's kind of almost unsaid at that point, I mean, this is how in sync we are with each other. We're wearing the same shirt, right? I mean,
merchandising.
Do you guys think it helps that you guys pretty much are selling not the same thing, but you guys have a common, I guess, product that you guys are working on?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. It's, I mean, I've done some tables with friends who were like, and we were selling our own stuff. And you got to make sure not to. We got a funny story about that too, but that's for later.
Okay, good.
But like you do the same thing too, George, with Johnny. You guys are selling separate things, but you work together. You're like, okay, my book's not what you want. Take a look at his book. You don't like my art style? Take a look at my boy's art. I even do it to people at the table next to me. It's like, oh, you don't want to buy this silly book? This person next to me has like these cute little tchotchkes. take a look at their stuff. You know,
Right.
Like we're all in this together.
Tables. Like I'll walk people over. I'm going like, here, I'll show you where they're at. You know, what I
That's
mean?
hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, even like with you, like I think you know when you were in the book, we're like, oh, take a look at George. He's right there.
Oh,
you know,
yeah. No. That and that actually brings me back, and I do want to hear that story. But let me talk really quick about the shirts that you're wearing. So we suck at comics, right? People may think, what the heck is that? Tell us a little bit about what we suck at comics is, and the mindset behind it. How did it happen? What's that all about?
So
like when you were saying before, go ahead.
I was going to say, it goes a lot to what we were just talking about, right? Like it's all about that community. It's all about like, I'm going to promote you, you promote us. We kind of help you. It's, as I say all the time, you know, a high tide raises all boats, right? So if we all recognize we're in this together, we're not competing against each other, you know,
giant furry robots.
Yeah. But that's the thing. And so that's why we've done this, to kind of get everybody involved, get everybody to you know, help put their stuff out, and that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
You know,
because like that's where the name even came from. It's like, you know, we've all been doing this just as long as you guys have, and it's like, yo, we suck at this. This sucks. It's a horrible experience. We should quit. But you know what? Maybe if it won't suck as much if we do it together. Right. I just realized phrasing.
Are we still doing phrasing?
So you guys, so you pulled up that book, and it's a thick freaking book, bro. This is a monster. It's an anthology of comic book stories by different creators. And so that page right there, what I like about this book, and obviously, you know, anybody watching, when you see these guys at a convention, pick it up. It's a freaking dope book. But it almost becomes a scavenger hunt, right?
Yes.
Because you are looking for as many creators as you possibly can to get a signature on that particular page. Was that something that you intentionally did with that page, or that just kind of it just happened that way?
Oh no, that was like once we realized that we're doing an anthology, I'm like, we need to promote the shit out of everybody, because this is not Mark and my book. This is our book. This is the community's book.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what? I'll tell you what. I was looking at that page, Alex, and I just had one of these wonderful ideas, as you know I often do. Hey, look, squirrel.
Oh God, this is gonna suck.
No, it's gonna suck. But you know what? I love that it's gonna suck. The first person that brings me that book signed by every single creator, I'll give you $100.
Wow. Mark,
that's not fair, man. That's not fair.
Start buying that book and getting all these signatures. Start right now.
All right. Out there. Now we got to go find Josh.
How many stories? How many stories are in that particular?
In that particular one has 17 stories. It's got 17 creative teams. It's 288 pages of comic and prose goodness. How about that?
Hugo has a question. Can the $100 be redeemed as home brews?
Yes. Like, you mean like this one here? You say homebrew?
So wait, so I've seen that also at your table, guys. You guys, because you brew your own beer, right, Mark? So
my own beer.
What do you guys offer at the table as an incentive sometimes?
You spend $15 and more, I'll give you a free beer. It's just that simple. I mean, okay, wait.
We check ID. We do check ID.
21. Yeah. You gotta be 21 or older.
Legally, we can't get arrested again.
All right, so tell me that story about the cute couple. What's that story?
Oh yeah, so Mark and I, we try not to like dress like us, because it was funny when we were both bald with beards, and then one day at San Diego Comic-Con, we get into the elevator, and just coincidentally, we're both wearing like kind of like a different shade of dark blue t-shirts, and we both have like.
You had a black shirt on, and I had
a black. Okay, yeah, you're right. It was black, and you had a navy shirt. I had like a dark brown khaki short, and you had like a gray or something like that. But we're in there, and this actress comes into the elevator, and she looks at the two of us, and she's like, "Oh, that's so cute. You guys are dressed alike."
Oh,
yeah.
And I'm just sitting there laughing my ass off. Mark is turning red because he's like, "Oh crap," because we both like the actress too. So it's like.
Oh, that's freaking great. So Anita has a question. Yeah. How does one get a story into one of these anthologies?
I can answer that. If you go to waywardraven.com and go to the side where it says join us, click on that button and follow the instructions.
There you go. Simple enough. Simple. Are you guys looking for stories for the next one coming up? And what is the next one?
Absolutely. So we haven't announced the next one just yet.
Okay.
Because we're getting this one out right now. So number 2 is in preview on Kickstarter right now.
Nice.
And that has 28 stories. So a nice mix again of art and comics and prose and whatnot. But we've got 26 different creative teams. So it's some of the stories are a little shorter. So I think we're a little bit over 200 pages. But we're also going to put this one out in hardcover. In fact, that's the only way it's coming out of this Kickstarter is hardcover. And there's some really cool goodies like this that we're going to be sharing. I didn't put all the colors on here, but we've got a really nice orange. We've got we've got a really cool raspberry.
This is the mint.
We did some really cool funky colors this time because we're sick and tired of plain old black t-shirt, and quite frankly, the title of this one is Coloring Outside the Lines. So
there you go.
And it's a very vibrant color cover too. So,
so I think you mentioned it. How big is the first book? How many pages is the first book?
288.
288 pages.
288. Damn. Yeah. So this one is not as big, but still over 200 pages.
Yeah, we're trying to cap it around that. We really learned our lesson after the last one.
Yeah, dude, that's got to be insane even to ship something like that big.
It was interesting.
We'll just leave it at that.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. So, all right, so how was it? Was it easier, harder to kind of herd, all of these artists and teams of creators and stuff like that to put this thing together? Like, talk about
they were all wonderful people. We love every one of them.
And that's all we'll say about that. It's a great time to bust somebody's balls and just call out. Except
there
for
are so
you.
many. The one lesson I learned between the first one and the second one is right off the bat when we're asking people for their work, we're like, these are the dimensions, needs to be in TIFF, needs to be in this format. And then, of course, we still got to chase after people like, hey, I know you have it as a PDF. Can I get it as separate files, please?
I was going to say,
thank you for giving me a stack of JPEGs. Great. That's going to be good.
Low-res JPEGs. Love it.
I did this one on my typewriter. Can I send it? Can I mail it to you?
My God.
Oh, that is great. So this is all right. So this is on Kickstarter now, and for those watching, the link is in the chat. It'll also be in the show notes. So okay, I know that you were thinking about when to launch it. What are we looking at for a launch date for this?
Yeah, we're still debating. Because I think the goal is we want to hit a certain follower count. I think you guys all know you've done these before. It's so critical to have a good launch. Yeah. And in the past, we've launched with less than our goal right now. But, it really depends on the book. And it really depends on the ask. And I think, frankly, we're looking for a pretty decent number this time. So we really want to make sure this pays out. That's the goal. Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing we learned too from the last one is if it gets a good bump from the start, Kickstarter signal boosted too. So we really want to kind of come out swinging with it. Yeah. Plus with between the holidays, New York Comic Con,
I know.
Certain political events, we want to make sure we're not going to have too much noise around it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm. The what is it? A 30-day campaign?
Correct.
That's the plan. That's the plan. Yeah. You know what? We've only done one campaign that was more than 30. And it was early on. I think it was maybe an Indiegogo campaign too.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, because and I don't think it was that successful.
It didn't necessarily shake the comic book community to its core. That's for sure.
Yeah. We still haven't quit our day jobs.
Yeah. But we learn a lot with each one of these, and I think we get better with each one, and it's just and I feel like the industry is transitioning a lot more to indie books are getting sold more and more through Kickstarters than they are at cons.
Right. But you guys still do your cons, and you still, have a pretty big presence. So you're not going to stop doing cons just because, 72 DB.
No.
Yeah, I saw that. That hurt me.
But so you're going to continue to do cons, obviously. I mean, I think the way, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the way you're looking at it is Kickstarter is just another avenue. It's just another venue for you guys to sell the book.
Yeah, like any publisher, like any business, you got to find multiple places for your stuff. With some exceptions, I'll tell you what. I'm going to talk beer for a minute. I was up here this weekend at Treehouse. If you guys can't see this logo, they are freaking amazing, and people know their quality is amazing. They just built up that business that they don't have any distributors. Everybody comes to them. They keep opening new breweries, and so people go to those breweries. You know what I mean? But like, they've established such a high bar for quality. But I mean, it took time to get there, so short of that, you just got to be everywhere.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, me personally, I love doing the shows. I mean, it's a love-hate relationship with those things. Like, especially the most fun I've had is obviously when I go as a spectator, right? And I just kind of walk around and say hello, hey, take a selfie, and I'm having a good time. It's a little more, of a struggle when I'm behind the table, and because you got to get your work hat on, and you got to go to work. But what are you guys doing next year? Do you guys know what you're doing next year as far as cons?
We're still looking at it, but this year we got New York, we got and then we have Rhode Island close it out. We may do one more small show before the end of the year, and then I think we're looking to kick off. There's potentially a show here in Connecticut that's a one-dayer, and then C2E2 is another one we're looking at. So I haven't made the schedule yet. This is right about the time we really start talking about it, because I know we need to start making commitments.
Yeah. Because some of these tables start selling out. C2E2 was fun. I went there last year again as a spectator, and it was a really, really, really fun show. But so New York Comic Con, what's your booth number?
1845. We will be right across from is it Crunchyroll?
Yeah, it's Crunchyroll. We're gonna be right by Crunchyroll. I think we're not gonna be too far from you, George. So,
yeah. I'm gonna be 2040 with Johnny C. We're gonna
be so down the aisle, basically.
Right around the corner. I think you're one back from us, something like that.
Right.
Yeah, we're back in small press this year too, so it's gonna be like coming home.
Dude, yeah, because last year you guys were all the way down the block. You were like near. You guys were so far down. It was like crazy to find you guys.
It was a mixed bag being out that way too. So we weren't anywhere near any of the other comic people, so we kind of stood out. But at the same time, there's a lot of people where they're like, "What? These are books? People read books?"
Because you were by the merch. You were by the New York Comic Con merch store or whatever.
Exactly. It was, it's a 6 of one, half dozen the other, right? Like, it's a bigger booth, right? So we can do more with it, and so that we started kind of gravitating towards that. I'd say since the 2021 show, the next three, we really had bigger booths in different areas. It's good, it's bad. It's kind of, I was laughing. Alex is like, yeah, it's like coming home, and I'm like, I hope that doesn't mean I have to sleep in my old bedroom.
No, the dog gets that one. You get the floor.
Shut up and get in the basement.
So I think one of the good things about having the bigger booth is some people come by and take naps.
Oh, right. Yeah, because you have all that room back there. You have all that room.
Yeah.
Before I know that you've been on the show before, and I maybe most of the people who are watching, some of them don't know you guys, but how did you guys meet each other? How did you guys start working together? And how long has this friendship been going? Because you guys have great, it's like too long.
Forever.
You want to tell the story, Mark, or should I?
You know what? I'll tell part of it, and I'll let you tell the other part. How about that? So I spent 15 years in media, I have spent a lot of my career in human resources and recruiting and things like that, which is another reason why I can just talk about anybody, right? I'll figure some common ground, something. But, I was looking for software engineers for a particular media company, and I reached out to Alex because I saw his resume, and we had a good chat, and I was like, well, come on in, let's meet. And we happen to be working on 1700 Broadway at the time, was where the address was, right across from David Letterman, and right above DC Comics.
Oh wow!
I will let Alex take it from there.
So I go into the elevator and like, I'm riding up to the company. I'm like, da 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 da, and then like I open and then boom, this Superman mural. I was like, what the hell? So then I get to, I go to the Mark's floor. I walk through this, it looks like a drab little office that like, like, okay, I'm gonna go to like a casting call probably or something like that. Some weird video that's gonna end up in the dark side of the internet. And then I go into Mark's, yeah, right. And I go into Mark's office and I see all of these like DC Comics posters on the wall, and he's got like the little Superman mugs, and he's got the Sandman poster too. And I'm like, am I in the right office? Is this fill in the blank media company? And he's like, yeah, cool. And we got to talking, and we spent the entire interview talking comics, not about the job, talking comics. And then I go to meet the guy who would be my manager, and I see he's got Star Wars Legos in his office and all these Star Wars things. So I talked to him about Star Wars more than than coding. And I'm like, okay, cool. I guess I'm getting this job. That's cool. And then during our lunch break, Mark and I were just talking comics. We're riffing on these ideas. I find out he's a writer. He finds out I'm an artist. And then I find out he's going to be at New York Comic Con. I'm going to be at New York Comic Con. He's got a table. I was just going to be an attendee. And I'm like, cool, I'll come by, help you out. Sure. But as New York Comic Con's rolling along, we're like, oh, this cool, funny idea we keep riffing on, let's make that a comic. Right. So by the time New York Comic Con rolls around, Mark's got 2 floppies of a book that he did with Josh. And then him and I, we have 10 pages of what would become Damn Heroes. Damn. Like 10 little like printouts of the page. Right, actually, no. And I think, was that the year? No, it was the year after where we actually went to like a Staples and made these like 10 copies of an activity book for Damn Heroes. That's
right. Yeah.
That's where it started. Like it wasn't, we weren't even Wayward Raven at the time. We were on like just under the old company that him and Josh had before we rebranded to Wayward Raven.
We were Aegis Pub, and we got tired of people going, "What's AEGAS?"
Yeah, I'm the Greek. I couldn't figure it out.
I know. I was waiting for like a Scotsman to come up and go, "Haggis." Figure out how.
But yeah, like, and then we've been just kind of going strong ever since. Like every year we try to at least have 1 or 2 new things at the table. Right. This year we're gonna have Napoleon Starship at the table, so that's cool. Definitely something to come check out.
Nice. Yeah. So that was the last Kickstarter you guys did, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Cool, man. Cool. Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna be there, so I'll just stop by the table to pick it up, because that way you don't have to ship it. Yeah, that way you don't have to ship it. Yeah, that'll save on shipping. But yeah, no, that's dope, man. That's dope. And so now you're gonna be launching this next year. Hopefully, obviously by October, you'll have copies of that. Mm-hmm. When can people, and will you continue to do these? Is number 3 coming out? First of all, that's number 1. Yes. Okay.
People keep buying them. We'll keep selling them.
When can people start, kind of, I guess, submitting for stories to be put into the book? And is there a page limit? Because I know when Seabass is in the chat. What's up, Seabass? When he submitted a full 24-page book. Like, are you still doing full 24-page books, 22-page books?
We'll let everyone except Sebastian do a full book now.
But yeah, no, we still have a couple issues of the Ascendant we need to work on. Gotcha. We are going to be rolling up Damn Heroes into the complete anthology, the complete trade. So that's coming. We have other things that we have projects that are just kind of waiting to get out.
Plans within plans.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but if people are interested in submitting, like we don't have a theme yet. We're not actively looking for something specific, but the join us thing, that gets you put on a separate list of creators. So when we do get ready to announce that, it'll just go to creators so that they can start sending submissions. If anybody does have a submission, it couldn't hurt to send us something. Sure, we'll take a look. No promises. Right. We're always like, that's how Napoleon Starship happened. We met this young lady at a con. She pitched us her book. We liked it. We're like, okay, let's see what we can do together. It's kind of how it works for us. So,
and you guys obviously prefer finished stuff. Not
Yeah,
just
yeah.
scripts. Hey, can you find me an artist? It's not one of those things. It's like, okay, have your thing ready and just send it to us.
Yeah, we don't have. I mean, we could probably recommend an artist if people are looking, but we don't. We're not Marvel and DC, unfortunately. You know, we're barely Top Cow, right? Yeah.
Yeah. At some point, we may get to that point where we can pair stuff and really, you know, I'll give me a script and I'll find an artist or whatever. But we're not there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I got you. Nah, man. So listen. So you guys can be found at the website. I know you guys have your own, you know, social media, but tell us where we can find you guys.
You go to Wayward Raven.
Yep. Sorry.
See, we finish each other's sentences.
So it's so go again. So it's waywardraven.com.
Correct. Yeah. We also got wesuckatcomics.com if anyone is really interested in that one. So cool. Gotta brand it.
And then you've got the link for the Kickstarter, which honestly, if you went to Kickstarter and put in Wayward Raven or you put in we suck. At Wayward Raven or at Wayward Raven Media and Facebook, Instagram, at Wayward Raven for Twitter. Fuck you, it'll always be Twitter. I don't care. No bullshit. I think we're Raven Media Threads too. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I forgot about Threads, and I think we're on Blue Sky somewhere if anyone even uses that.
And we're like wayward.raven at TikTok. So
we just got on TikTok, so it's not going to be cool anymore.
Yeah. I'm sure that's going to be fun. You guys and your skits.
There's some good ones already on there.
There's some good ones on there already. Yeah, see, Chris is singing "Carry On My Wayward Raven."
Yes.
Sam, you know that one?
Carry on,
my wayward raven.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being on with us tonight. I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks, I guess. In a few days. We'll be out there. You guys get there Wednesday, obviously, to set up and all that other fun stuff.
Probably Tuesday, but yeah.
Right, yeah. To be fair, pretty sure Facebook forgot about Threads. Yeah, that's just another one that I don't want to join. But yeah. Anyway, guys, you're the best. We'll see you soon, and good luck with the with the book.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys having us on.
Absolutely. It was great seeing you guys.
Peace.
Hell yeah, man. Later, guys.
Peace.
That was Wayward Raven. Alex and Mark, man, they're hilarious. You guys got to follow them on social media. They do some funny stuff on there. They're really good guys. And We Suck at Comics #2 is coming. So make sure you sign up for the pre-launch page and go to waywardraven.com for all the information there.
Link is in the summary, is also in the chats as well.
Yeah. Sam, you look like you're falling asleep, bro. You good?
I'm good, bro.
You're tired. You're tired.
Your boy's always on the go. That's what it is.
Body weary. Yeah. When do you get back to New York?
Thursday evening, and then I'm back at work on Friday. I was supposed to be off, but I have to be there for some important meetings.
No bueno.
And then I'm working Saturday, so I'm gonna have to take my day back next week to catch up on some Z's, bro. Yo, yesterday, true story. Yesterday, I got I flew in. I'm at a hotel where across the street there's a market, so I went to the market. I have a kitchen, so I always like to make my own food. So I get my breakfast and stuff, and I stock up the fridge so every morning I can make my own breakfast before I head out to meetings. And I was sitting here preparing because I'm the facilitator and the speaker the next couple of days, and so I was working on my presentation and my speech and all that stuff, whatever. And I'm sitting here. And I said, let me go lay down for a second. And this is around 5:30. I wake up at 11 o'clock at night. And I'm like, I just went to lay down for a second, bro. I was like, dude, yo.
That's how it happens.
Man. I was just like comatose, bro. Because it's like I'm always on the go. Just trying to catch up on some Z's.
Word.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we're gonna be back next week. Who's on next week? October. What is next week? October 15th.
Let's see, Calendly. Let's see.
What do we got on Calendly? Who's coming on?
Oh, let me look at it on my phone because he is faster than this thing.
Yeah. And again, I'll take this opportunity to remind everybody, don't forget to sign up to the Kickstarter for our guests that were on the show tonight. We're with Raven. That will be out next year sometime, I think. So check that out. And they will be at New York Comic Con as well. So if you're going to be at New York Comic Con, come check us out. I'll be at my booth. They'll be at theirs, which is, I think, 1748 is what they said.
Yeah, next week we have Carissa Grant on the show.
Oh, Carissa will be on. All right. So I'm sure she's probably going to have a new book. I mean, she's killing it. She's killing it with the books as far as how quickly they come out.
Yeah.
So check us out next week. We'll have a topic. We're going to be chilling. Oh, don't forget, yesterday I had Get Your We Suck at Comics Volume 1 anthology signed. Yes, for $100. Get all of the signatures, and Mark will give you $100. So go get it.
Pesos, bro.
You get it signed. Yo, he said it here. It's on. It's on.
$100, bro. $100.
Don't forget to check out my YouTube channel. I had Mr. JD Rosario on the show yesterday, Sam.
Rosario.
He says hello in his own special JD Rosario way to you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, check that out. So make sure you go to Get Your Meds here on YouTube and sign up, subscribe to that and check out the show. I will be at New York Comic Con in a couple of weeks. What else I got going on? I got some lettering going on. I got a book coming out next year. Don't forget, if you haven't done so yet, pre-order the second volume of the Adventures of Wonder Duck. So the Growing Takeover is out now. Go to my website, getyourmeds.com, pre-order the book. How do you guys get books out so quickly? I'm struggling to get my second book out in 3 years. It's tough, bro. It's not freaking easy, dude. It's definitely not easy.
No.
But I mean, listen, Wonder Duck, the one that I have coming out, it's a 4-chapter book, but it took a while to put together. So
took a hot minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the longest was issue 6 for Disney in My Toilet, but
but that one you started from scratch. The other ones you already had done, right? And those took a little while. This one was from scratch. Like this one, there were no pages. Well, there were some pages drawn, right, or something like that.
Issue 5, I redid a lot of pages. This one,
right.
No, issue 6 was all completely from scratch.
Yeah, from scratch.
Yeah, issue 5, I redrew a lot of pages. Issue 4, I redid some pages. But issue 6 is from scratch. But I even did do these monsters faster than I did issue 6. Is because at that time I wasn't working and I was working at home.
Oh, well, yeah, you had the time.
Now that I'm working, it takes a lot longer for me to get stuff done.
Yeah, not for sure.
For
sure. But yeah, Sam, so you're gonna be where? What's your next appearance?
Cowtown Comic Con, and that ends my stint for the year, and then I'll kick off next year with LitCon and Texoma Comic Con. Those are my first 2 shows to kick off the new year, and then we'll see what happens after that. There's a slight possibility that I might try to do San Diego Comic Con, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But right now, there's some new shows that I want to do in Texas that I haven't done yet. I want to test and try those as well. But so Cowtown Comic Con in 2 weeks, I'll be there. I know that Laurie Calcaterra is going to be there. I know that William Russell? No. Is it? Yeah, he's going to be there. I know that, Marco is going to be there. And I know that a lot of cats from Texas that I met are going to be there. So it's going to be a cool show. Marco DeFilio. Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, he'll be there. In fact, Marco, we're arranging to have a streaming live drawing session with me and Marco. And then I want to do a part 2 with Lou
Pons. Yeah, check out her YouTube channel too. She's got a YouTube channel as well. She's got a drawing channel called Art O'Clock or something like that. It's kind of cool.
Art O'Clock.
Yeah. Check it out.
But if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, share it with a friend. Remember, we are the OGs, we are the originators. The first independent comic book podcast in the game, launched in 2005. There was nobody else like it. Longest running, and we do the show to give voice and spotlight the unsung heroes, the up and comers, those who are trying to break into the game. So when we grow, the independent community grows, and your support allows us to do so. With that said, I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera.
George the Dreamer Medina.
Thank you everybody for watching tonight, and we are out.
It's just easy. It's not.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquise. I met him. Say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh, my
How he described me? He said, I'm the... What?
Catch the craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. To Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze on Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.
Candy girl.